We're still here. Russ, Thaler, Kei Kamara from the New England Revolution, Andrew Wiebe from Extra Time Radio. Wake up because you're going to have to do another show in a few hours, right? Extra Time Radio, the Monday show?
Tomorrow, I guess.
It was today.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, happy Halloween. It's good to see that you dressed up as a clown.
I know. Oh, that's how this is going to go, huh? Man, I had no warning here.
Hey, look, we've been watching a lot of soccer, and I know a lot of you guys have been too. Here's the deal. The home teams, the lower seeds who got the first leg of the conference semifinals all did well today, right? No goals from a higher seed. So we're going to throw out the hashtag question. By the way, any questions you want to ask, people have been sending them in. We're going to get to some of them. Just bring them on. We have answers, or at least we'll have the best approximation of answers. But the hashtag question is, if you are the higher seed, would you rather have your home game in leg 1 or leg 2, which is apropos considering what we just saw today? All right, so hashtag leg 1 and hashtag leg 2. Throw it in the comment section here on Facebook Live. And guys, we've been getting questions, and we've been getting a sort of a variation on a theme because of what we've seen today. So here's one question that we've been getting, and it's, look, here's the deal. Please discuss how the lower seeds are up 7-0 on aggregate and why that system doesn't make sense. Okay, so the system itself is you have aggregate scoring, home and away leg, aggregate scoring with away goals being the first tiebreaker, and there were no away goals scored today. How does the system either make sense or not make sense to you?
I think that most people out there right now are saying it doesn't make sense based on the results. Right. I don't agree.
Right.
I think there's an onus on the away team, on the higher seed, to take care of business.
Yes.
You want the game at your house in the second leg. End of story.
Is that true?
That's really how you want it, because I mean it can go either way. You can say, okay, because I'm higher seed and I want to host the first game. No team is going to say that. You want to play that first game away so that you can bring the second game at home. You know, you're not going to say I'm going to go away and the result is going to be the way the result's going to be. Definitely, you're trying to get a good result on the road, you know, so you can come back home. But the way it's gone today, that's why.
Yeah, but last year your Columbus team, you went on the road against Montreal and you lost, right?
We did.
You lost 2-1. And then you come back to Columbus, right?
Yep, and that's where you're looking to your home crowd and you're looking to bring more people out there so you can get more energy out there and hopefully, so you can deliver.
But you lost. But 2-1 is a good result in that aggregate series with the road goals, and that's the difference.
And you ended up going through. Columbus ended up going through.
7-0 to the home teams. 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. All you got to do is get a road goal, and you're in a beautiful position going back home.
But nobody was able to do it.
That's on you. And the flip side is, look, the Red Bulls, 13-2-2 at home this year. Where do they want to be with the season on the line? They want to be at Red Bull Arena. The Rapids, 11 wins, no losses at home this year. They don't allow any goals, 7 goals allowed. Where do you want to be with your season on the line? It's not on the road. Right now, this is sour grapes on Twitter, in my opinion. You can come at us in the comment section, because I'm adamant about this.
What about Dallas, though? We're talking about the U.S. Open Cup winners and the Supporter Shield winners.
Yeah.
And then they lose 3-0. We do have a question, though. Who do you think is a better chance of a comeback of all the losing teams? Let's talk about Dallas's chances right now, because they probably have the least chance because they're down 3 goals. And maybe this isn't the Dallas team that played most of the season. Maybe the Mauro Diaz loss showed up tonight in the playoffs more than it showed up in the last game of the regular season?
Yeah. I mean, that's not the game we expected. All those goals, we were expecting those goals to be in the Toronto game, and Toronto against New York. But then with Dallas, the way the team is at right now, it's about going back home, and they really have to produce.
I mean, that's the beautiful part of the MLS season, right? Is the playoffs are a completely different thing. This isn't the regular season anymore. Who you were in March and April and May and June and July, that's out the window. It's all about getting into a position to have success here. And unfortunately for Dallas, they've been unlucky. Look, Mauro Diaz's injury, they couldn't have predicted that. That completely changes their team. Losing Fabian Castillo, that's really tough as well. But 8 minutes. That's all it was here. You see Nelson Valdez getting this goal to start things off, and he's been red hot in the playoffs.
By the way, that was his 3rd career playoff goal. Those are his last 3 MLS goals. Are playoff goals.
He's got 300% of his goals are playoff goals, basically.
Big player stepping up in in really big moments for the team.
Yeah, who's become a big player is Jordan Morris.
Yeah.
Right? He's just a rookie, but that was a big time play for their second goal, his assist, his run, and then the left-footed cross.
Yeah.
I mean, to Ladero, who saw that? Could you see a left? I thought he was going outside of the right foot, right? Isn't that kind of what he does?
Here's the Ladero goal that puts him up 3-0, and an incredible run here. But the consistency between the two is they both came down that left flank, and FC Dallas turned off on both of those. So if you're an FC Dallas fan, you can lament the fact that you were on the road, you can do all those things, but you've got to do better in the open field than this. And Matt Hedges is in a tough position here. Jordan Morris is going to walk by him every time, but what a pass this is, what timing it is between Morris and Ladero. And that's what the playoffs are about. Your big players coming up big in big moments, and the teams that are up right now, their big players did it.
By the way, perfectly weighted pass with his off foot. Not only his off foot, it's like the non-existent foot.
We may have to stop talking about it that way, right? He's starting to do some special things.
It's his playoff foot. It's his playoff. He brings it out only in the playoffs.
I like that. Yeah, it's like a sandwich.
But then he should have hit that volley in the first half with that left foot.
No, that's true. But it's Halloween. He was masquerading as a two-footed player.
Man, I think.
Was that rough? Was that a little
harsh?
That
was a little rough. That was a little rough, Russ.
I didn't mean.
Yeah. Sounders fans will take it though. They're like 3-0, we're good. Don't worry about it. Your jabs are fine. But look, Dallas. This doesn't discount the season that they've had. They still have an opportunity to go home and get something. They cannot allow a road goal, and none of these teams really can. But anybody out there saying that, their season is ruined, whatever, they won the double. They advanced the CONCACAF quarterfinals. It's not a zero-sum game. If you don't win MLS Cup, 19 teams won't win MLS Cup. So if that's how you're measuring success, end all be all, most people are not going to be successful. Dallas fans, you got reason to be proud of your season. It's not over yet either.
No, it's not over. We saw it last year against Seattle.
Yep.
They fought back. They had to get that late Zimmerman goal to climb back into stuff last year there.
Yeah, they do.
In Frisco.
I'm just not sure that they have the magic.
Too big a hole?
Yeah, Oscar Pereja's going to have to find a different scheme, and they're going to have to be more focused for 90 minutes, and they're going to have to get goals, and they're going to have to do it quickly. So.
Yeah, and we just had the question: will Dallas be able to fight back in leg two? 3-0 is how possible. If you're on Dallas, what are you guys saying to each other right now?
Let's just get home, really forget about this game. But when we get home, it's not about going gung-ho in the first 10 minutes, when our game is at home. We have to be able to contain ourselves. The first goal might not come in the first 10 minutes. It can come in the second half. We can't just go out there and decide that we want to get all the goals in the first half. They really have to contain themselves, because if they don't do that and Seattle goes and get another goal, then they're in deep trouble.
I want to take it back to that question before: who has the best chance? And I think it's not New York City FC actually, because at home I think they're going to give up goals.
Before we get to your answer, let's just tell all the people that the TV schedule's out. Okay?
Oh, is it?
So the FC Dallas game, leg 2, Dallas going home down 0-3. That game is a 9 p.m. Eastern game next Sunday night on FS1. Okay, so that's where you can watch that game, and there you go. So FC Dallas and Seattle are 9 p.m. Eastern time, November 6th, next Sunday on FS1. Okay, now tell us, who you think has the best chance?
I think the Red Bulls and I think the Colorado Rapids have the best chance. And it's because of what I said. You get to go home where you've been incredible this year. And I was looking at the stats earlier, and I know Montreal had a great game plan. We talked about it in the pregame. We said, look, they're going to bunker. They're going to look to hit on the counter. They did it. Mancuso got the goal. It was a moment of brilliance. They shut down Sasha Kleshin. But at Red Bull Arena, in 7 games, in their history, they have 7 losses. And they've scored 7 goals, and they allowed 21. So they're not going to a place where they're going to be comfortable. And Red Bulls have been so good this year. If I'm Jesse Marsh, I wash my hands of this result. I say, you got it behind us one time. Watch out for us at Red Bull Arena.
Is it enough for Montreal? Is 1 goal enough? You think they were happy with the result today?
I think they were happy, but I still don't think 1 goal was enough. And now we're going into the next game in New York and seeing, is Drogba going to come back in? Is Drogba going to play? Because I can see today from that game that they played, after, the wingers were getting wide and they were getting really good crosses in the box, they were really missing, presence as Drogba for the final.
Fans are pretty excited for Montreal. It was a heck of a goal, too.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, Mancuso goal. I mean, just the timing and the patience to wait for that ball to come down from Donadell.
Yeah, this strike here, on the half volley, Aurelien Collin just can't get there in time, and you can't fault Luis Robles here. The long ball from Donadell, and that's what we said, give them space. These guys can pass. They're not going to run by you, but they can pick out that run, and Mancuso, I think when he came in the league in the summer, a lot of people said, depth signing, not somebody who's going to change the game for you. That hasn't been the case.
It's changed, and that's really, the ball from Donadell, as a striker, when you get that eye connection with that, whoever's going to pass that ball, the way he just chipped that ball behind the strikers, he didn't have to take a touch. He just had to hit it first
Fair
time.
to call that the goal of the day? Is that the goal of the day? Which is a better goal? Which is the more impressive goal as a player? That goal, the pass from Donadell, and the one-time strike, from Mancosu or maybe the Jordan Morris run and feed to Ladero? Which is a more impressive goal?
I think that was a really, really good goal, but also, the goals in Canada has been very, very good because the goal that Altidore scored, to put the team up front, that was a big goal for the team.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty,
Yeah,
but it was big.
It was
very
big.
important.
We'll get to that in a moment. Let's keep talking about the Red Bulls because now they're going to go home down 1-0.
Yeah.
Is that a satisfactory result, though, for the Red Bulls, considering their home record?
I mean, I think it is satisfactory. They're not going to be thrilled about it by any means, but they're going to say we have everything to play for at home. The one thing they got to be worried about is Sasha Kljestan. He did not create a chance in this game, and I think that's the first time this year that that's happened. 20 assists, probably the best chance creator in the league. And if you look at his passing map from this game, and if you look at most of the passing maps from the games recently that the Impact have played, there's kind of a halo around the 18-yard box.
Right.
They're going to give you space to operate and work in those areas around the box. They just don't want to let you in to have that.
Who was responsible for kind of shutting down Kljestan today?
Oh, to me, the way I look at it, Bernadelle was really, really good in the midfield. But at the same time, I mean, we look at a player as
Patrice Bernier.
For his age and what he did in that midfield, he was seriously the man of the match to my eyes.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he threw back the clock there. This was a Patrice Bernier vintage performance.
He was ready for that. He was ready for that game, and I'm sure he's going to be up for it again when they come here because that's the thing. Everybody's going to look at it as New York is going to score goals. So
Right.
it's about them getting something from it too.
Can we talk about the missed chance by Bradley Wright Phillips?
Yeah,
At the end of the game?
a chance to get an away goal.
I didn't want to bring it up, Kai, but I think I was at the stadium when you had your historic miss, let's call it.
Whoa.
This is tough, man. This is a chance he puts away 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately for the Red Bulls, it's that 10th time, and just point blank.
There was a lot of distractions there. The goalkeeper coming out, Oyongo coming out with his arms and everything, trying to block
Right.
it. So,
Stick
yeah.
up for your strike buddy.
Definitely. He's a goal scorer. He's
Don't
definitely
let
a goal
Wiebe
scorer.
push you around
Maybe
like
just
that.
a little bit of a cutback. That would have worked right there.
Yeah,
There are all
Oyongo trying
sorts
to get
of
his
blue
head in the
shirts
way.
going on
He
there.
was
Yeah.
trying to roll. He was trying to do the roll.
We'll do everything you can
That's right.
to get in there, and it
That's
worked.
right.
It worked, but now they're going to go home. He probably doesn't miss those chances at home now, right?
No, I mean, he's going to get chances at home. That's definite. He's going to get chances at home. And again, it's how early, they can put one in the back of the net. But at the same time, it's not really being too frustrated about it.
Yeah, look, they had some opportunities in this game, but just couldn't find a way.
And that was a play we saw there, that
the early
PK
play.
shot they wanted. And Sasha here had an opportunity. Maybe a shot could have gone off. But, I don't think they'll be worried. Like I said, you just got to find space to operate if you're Sasha. You didn't really get the turnovers you wanted. You had a couple opportunities to break forward that just didn't go your way. But at home, your record, the history with Montreal, I think you got a great chance with the Red Bulls. You're still happy. You still think you're advancing here.
Yeah, look, that game will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. New York Red Bulls hosting Montreal Impact. 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. So that's where it is. Let's stay in the Eastern Conference because you guys brought up the game we thought was going to be the highest scoring affair of the day, New York City FC and Toronto. And for a long time, we were thinking this thing's going to end 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, it took a little while to pop off, didn't it? And it was a
Picked
little
up
bit
late.
chippy.
Yeah.
It was chippy. These two teams don't like each other very much.
Yeah.
But those
it had
goals,
a very different feel than we thought going in, right?
It did. But those goals came at the right time for Toronto FC. That's what they needed. And you saw kind of the explosion of energy at BMO Field, the explosion of energy from the players. I mean, Josie Altidore going crazy. Michael Bradley smiling for a longer period of time than I think I've ever seen Michael Bradley smile. They're pounding the drum afterwards. This was a release of emotions, I think, at BMO. And I think that bodes well for them going to the second leg.
No, it's good. It's good. They were really feeding off of that crowd that they had there again, like I said. But all those goals are going to go down, and they have to come, here to New York, and they have to do a lot better than they did in the first 70 minutes of that game.
Here's a question from Chris. If you're Patrick Vieira, how do you approach the first 15 to 20 minutes of the second leg at home at Yankee Stadium next weekend?
I'm with Guy. I don't think you press, right?
No, you don't. You don't. You have to contain yourself. You have to play your game. You can't go in there thinking we have to get everything in that first 10, 20 minutes. You have to contain the game, and just whenever that first goal comes, then you build from there.
How about Toronto kind of going out of their game and playing the high press against New York trying to play it out of the back? They said, you know what, you're going to play it out of the back, we're going to push up the field. And it didn't seem like New York was necessarily ready for that.
It was a different New York team and a different mindset, I think. You look at that lineup, there's no Lampard. The midfield's very defensive. You could tell they kind of wanted to sit in and frustrate them. They still wanted to play out of the back, but they didn't have that same swashbuckling push that they often have, even on the road for this team. I think that was a mistake by Patrick Vieira. I think you grab one goal in this game if you're NYCFC, you're in such a better position. To lose 2-0 is not worst case scenario, but it's close to it, especially because that goal came in the 92nd minute from Toussaint Ricketts.
And I think Toronto really did really well on the pressing aspect because if it's something that you don't do throughout the whole season, you can't just do it in one game and then it works out really well. But in this game, it really worked out for them. They pressed New York really well and they won the ball in really dangerous positions.
Right, and here's the goal in stoppage time that, could end up putting them through. That second goal is a big deal. Remember, no Pirlo in this game.
Right.
For NYCFC, came up with a bit of a cap thing. Midweek, Patrick Vieira said, we're going to sit him and wait for the second leg. And, hopefully for NYCFC, that turns into something good, but they probably could have used someone to calm things down when Toronto was really pressing because they didn't have that guy to receive the ball, turn, and pick out a pass.
Or even that big switch. Oftentimes when you have that pressure coming, all of a sudden you've got gaps that you can pick out, and he is the guy with that long pass, with that vision that maybe could have broken some of that. But on the flip side, you can't have him on the field in a game like this if he's not 100%. So you give him the week, you see what happens, but it's not a performance you love for NYCFC, and I was looking. They have allowed this season, I think, 28 goals at home in 17 games.
And
that's not a recipe for
I've been
success.
in different locker rooms. I've been in the playoffs with different teams, but all these coaches are always preaching the same thing. It's a game of two halves. You're going to play one away, you're going to play one at your place. So it's really about setting yourself up for something good. And I still don't think New York is in a bad position. The only thing they can do is not come home and concede an early goal from Toronto.
Right. Well, speaking of locker rooms, how about the New York City locker room? Mixed Discarud is asking, in your mind, why did we lose today? And why and how will we win on Sunday?
Answer number one, I think just a little bit too conservative. And like we said, it's not about losing, it's about getting the right result. And this was not the right result. One goal in this match, one opportunity, same performance, one ball falls to David Villa and he scores it, all of a sudden this result is right. So I think that part is fine. I do think on Sunday they are going to have to take some more chances. And David Villa is going to have to be David Villa, right? Your big money players, the guys that you're paying DP money to, $5 million, whatever it is in David Villa's case, it's time to step up. This is money time.
I think Mix wants you to say Mixed Discarud is going to get into the line. That's what he wants, right?
Well, I think he wants Patrick Vieira to say that, but I don't think Patrick Vieira has been saying that.
I want Tommy McNamara in the lineup.
I mean, that is...
I'd like to see him. If you're looking for moments of magic, Tommy Mac could be the magic man.
I agree. He's had a little bit of a downturn, but they got to find it from somebody.
Yeah.
It's a game where we were expecting a lot of goals, and it's a game that when they've played it here in New York, there's been a lot of goals. So that's something we can expect from the next game. When they come here, there's definitely going to be some goals in that
and
game.
we did have a question that flashed up there. I saw it briefly. It said, will arrested Pirlo be the difference in game two?
I don't think he is the difference, but I do think he can change the game for him. On that field, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be much more hectic, a lot more going on. If he's not healthy, I think he's going to treat it the same way they've treated Keane, Drogba. You can't take a chance. It's 90 minutes. Your season's on the line. He's got to be ready.
Yes.
All right, that game, second leg at Yankee Stadium in New York. New York City FC and Toronto FC, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1 this coming Sunday night. Again, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, leg two. Remember, Toronto has a 2-goal lead going into Yankee Stadium. The game is on FS1. Here's the poll again. Remember, we asked you at the top of the show, as the home team, would you rather have first leg at home or second leg? And based on tonight, it's not even close. Not even based on tonight.
Yeah.
Most people still say second leg.
Yeah, look, I get it. Right after that result, you lose a game, you're the top seed, there's going to be some sour grapes. You're going to be unhappy with the way it goes. But I think ultimately you want to come home and have that opportunity, and the voters are speaking.
Kei, that shock you a little bit after seeing today that people still say second leg?
You want the second leg at home. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's at. Nobody just wants to go away to play a game. You want to bring that. You want to bring every game at home. It's just like the MLS Cup. You want to be able to host that game in your house.
And overtime? What if there's overtime? You don't want to be playing overtime in somebody else's building. You want 30 minutes in front of your fans with the pressure on in that way.
And God forbid you go to PKs.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want the voodoo like in Portland last year with double posts from Sporting Kansas
well, that's
City.
how they did it. You guys did it at home against the Impact, right? On PKs.
No, we didn't. No.
I thought it was 2-1, 2-1. No. My memory's up.
I settled that before PK.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known.
All right, final first leg game of the day was in LA, and LA Galaxy get a goal over Colorado Rapids, and we expected Colorado to try to keep this thing tight, and they kind of did.
Yeah.
They kind of did in a one-goal game. Dos Santos gets the goal, and Jelle Van Dam making a midfielder-type run from a center back.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. What a move!
What
a move it was.
The guy was a midfielder.
He was
at one point
all
in his
over
career.
the place. There was one point in which Landon Donovan's like,
that.
"Why are you up here?" But to
do that is why.
Just unlucky from the back line here on this header. It's a redirect. I think Tim Howard has that, and then it just tucks right inside the back post. I think LA will be happy, but they shouldn't be satisfied because 1-0 going back to Colorado is not enough.
It's not enough.
No, they've allowed 7 goals this year at Dick's Sporting Good Park. It's a record.
Kai, is that an own goal? Is that an own goal?
As a striker, I want that goal.
Yeah.
I want that
you
goal
want every
given
goal
to
as a
me, you
striker.
know.
Yeah.
But no, it was a different game, and to me, really, it's about everything, and it's about Jermaine Jones also coming up onto the field, you know, for Colorado, and really, I saw the impact right away when he came onto the field. You know, he was pushing the guys, he was making tackles, and you want, you know, somebody like that on the team that's going to do those things. It's a playoff moment, and he's ready for it. And when they go home, he's going to be a big impact. I believe he's going to start the next.
I mean, he nearly put one past Brian Mears there. That's a nice save.
That's Portugal-esque. I was in the stadium in Manaus when that happened. I mean,
Brian
that is
Rowe,
an incredible hit. That's what you're looking for from Jermaine. That's the quality he has. I think you're right. If he is healthy with the season on the line, he will start. I look to Shakel Zangashi, I look to Kevin Doyle, and I say, you guys got to be more dangerous.
Well, that's the thing. How are they scoring? I mean, 1-0's fine, but the question about
still gotta
Colorado is
score.
who's scoring?
Yeah, you still have to score when you go back home. One of those guys is going to have to put some more pressure on that LA back line. I don't think they did it in this game. You look at Kevin Doyle, he's got 2 goals, I think, since like early July, both in the same game. They need more production from him. They need just more sustained creativity and ideas from Shakel Zangashi, and I don't think they've got it recently, but they'll have to step up. Big game, season on the line.
Yeah, how much pressure is there when you come into your stadium and now you've been in a game where you're down a goal coming in and all your fans are looking to you like, hey man.
Stay calm, and really that pressure to me or wherever it's been, it's come in at the end of the game. If you're not scoring a goal and it's the last 10 minutes, then, you know, the team you were playing is definitely going to sit back and every ball is going to be pumped forward. But with a team with experience, you know, like the Galaxy would have, but obviously you look at Colorado, they don't have that much experience, but they don't want that game to go to the last 10 minutes because then the Galaxy can just park the bus and then wait for them.
All right, well, this game is the early game on Sunday. It is at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it is on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. It's Colorado Rapids down a goal to LA Galaxy in the conference semifinals, the second leg. Once again, 2 p.m. Eastern, this coming Sunday, November 6th on ESPN. They are undefeated at home, but they need more than just a draw.
That's correct.
They need to score.
They got to win here. And
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be worried about it. And I think this result is fine with them. 1-0 in LA. With the result that they had last week against RSL, you walk away from that and you say, you know what, we're set up perfectly. This is the way our team is built. We're going to go home, we're going to pitch a shutout, because that's what we do, and we're going to get a goal, maybe 2, take it extra time, maybe not, and we're going to move on. This is a proving ground right now. It's not given to you. Just because you finished second in the regular season doesn't mean that you're moving on. And that's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning about seeding and legs. That's what frustrates me. Just because you finished second or first and had a top seed doesn't mean anybody's giving it to you.
No,
you have to earn it. You got to go on the road and get a result and set yourself up.
And we all say that in every locker room, it's you want to get yourself into the playoffs. It doesn't matter how you get into the playoffs. Obviously, at the end of it, most teams are trying to be the highest seed, so you can host some games. But when you get into the playoffs, it's a new game. It's a new start, home and away, away and home, and you look forward to that. So if you can get into the playoffs, you can be number 6 and get into the playoffs and make it to the final.
And Timothy asks, who's the best player in the playoffs so far between the knockout round and also the first leg of the conference semifinals?
Man, Mateo Makosu's got a case for that. I think Nicholas Ladero has made a case.
Nelson
Valdez has made a case.
Jordan Morris.
I know you've got you've got some guys really making good cases right now. I don't think there's been that one standout player yet, but it's so early that we haven't yet seen somebody kind of grab it by the scruff and say, "This is my postseason. I'm going to be the face of it. Let's go get a cup."
Valdez would have to be the surprise player of the playoffs so far, considering that he hadn't scored.
Were you surprised he started?
I was very surprised he started, but hey, he started. He made an impact like that. The coach is saying, I'm right.
Better roll with him.
Ride that hot in, man.
You think they're playing for Schmetzer out there in Seattle? You think that's a real thing? Is it a real thing, playing for your coach's job?
I mean, if you say that, then it doesn't look good for the coach that just left the team. Then that make it seems like, you didn't believe in the system of what the previous coach was doing. So I can't really say that. And it just goes to the same thing I
Why
said
does it have
earlier.
to mean that? Why can't it just mean we like this guy?
Then that means you
I
didn't
mean,
like,
Spencer
that means
was
you didn't
around
like
when-
the other guy.
Spencer was
was
around.
around.
He was around when Ziggy was there.
Agreed, and maybe their performance in Kansas City. It's
too late to save
right,
Ziggy's job.
Right. We've taken that one and put it out of
Hey,
context. but-
Ziggy drafted me, okay?
Yeah.
So
Ziggy's great.
I will-
He was on a decision.
I will say that Jordan Morris on the postgame show with FS1 was saying, you know what, I hope that Schmetzer gets the job.
Yeah.
What he's done has been really great. I like him as a guy. He's changed our team's mentality. I don't necessarily know that it means that the previous coach is somebody that you walk away from, but there are times when you need a fresh outlook, and the Sounders got one.
and he's a local guy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, he's been
he's a
around the
legend.
Sounders for a long
So
time, man.
that's what you want. You want people like that on the team because they know what it means, for the team, and not only that, but for the city. They know what everything, means to the guys and means to the city.
All right, next question here is predictions for the conference finals. All right, so that's going into the finals? That's
Yeah, who makes it to the finals is how I'm interpreting
for the
that,
next
Kevin.
round? So
Yeah.
you want to go up to the board for that? Can we do
why
that?
not? Let's do it.
Are we even equipped for that? Okay, good. Just
Let's
checking.
head up
Go to
here,
the board.
Kai.
We got the...
So you had taken... Oh.
That's all right. Pick up. Come on,
least I
Mike.
didn't
Let's
strip
go.
Your movement on the field is a little bit better than your movement in the studio here. You had picked Montreal to move on previously. Are you still sticking with that? Do you think they're going to get past the Red Bulls here?
I'm still sticking to
Okay.
it. They're
All right.
definitely going to come here and get
Let's
the
drag
goal.
them in.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stay in the Eastern Conference. Toronto, 2-0 up, going to Yankee Stadium.
Who do you got?
Do they hold it? Or does
No,
David
they
Villa?
don't. They
don't?
don't.
You
I think New York FC is going to pull that
Oh,
one
wow.
off.
Okay. And between these two, you going with your boy Dom, or are you
I'm still sticking with Montreal. Montreal
Wow.
looks really good in this playoff.
sticking to his
Yes.
guns, going to a final, probably not going to host it? I'm guessing you're going Seattle Sounders. Can I just put that in for you?
Yes,
know-
with Seattle. I'm changing my mind.
I
I'm
know
going
the
with Seattle
trouble is
right
at
now,
stake
yeah.
here, but that's
Yes,
an
I'm
easy one, I
changing it,
think.
yes.
Colorado go home. Do they keep it going at Dick's Sporting Goods?
Again, experience of the Galaxy is
Okay.
definitely going to come into play.
All right, bring me over and give me an MLS Cup participant here from the West.
I'm going to now go with these guys.
It's all
over
about
here.
experience,
Yep,
huh?
Galaxy
Does
right
it
there.
stick in the final with experience? There's some on both sides, but we know LA ultimately has more. But maybe the system, maybe Biello, maybe Drogba comes back and does it off the bench.
We need a new team to win the MLS
Okay.
Cup. So
All
I'm
right.
going
All
with
right.
these guys over here.
The
Impact
impact.
du Montreal.
Yeah, Quebec,
Hey,
they're going to be really happy
Does
about that.
Drogba play? Do you think Drogba plays before the end of the
I
playoffs?
did say Drogba might play in the final. So that's it right there. Drogba is going to come
It's
off
like
in the
Champions
final.
League. Is he going to single-handedly win the MLS Cup?
What a fairy tale story that would be. After everything that's happened, the ups and the downs.
Yeah, fairy tale is one way of pointing it. Hey, why don't you guys come back? We'll wrap up the show. How about one more time we show the TV schedule for next week? Can we do that? All right, let's go chronologically. Next Sunday, all right? The early game, it all begins at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be back here once again, 2 p.m. on ESPN, Colorado, down a goal, taking on LA Galaxy. After that, at 4 p.m. on ESPN, New York Red Bulls, down a goal, hosting Montreal Impact on ESPN. Then at 6:30, New York City FC, down 2 goals at Yankee Stadium, hosting Toronto FC on FS1. And then the late game is at 9 p.m. in Frisco, Texas. The Supporter Shield winners in a huge hole, down 3-0 to the Seattle Sounders, a 9 p.m. game on FS1. Kai, it's been fun, man.
It has been fun, and thank you guys very much for hosting me
Yeah.
here.
What was your moment of the day? As a striker, what was your favorite moment of the first leg day?
I'm gonna have to say the goal from Josie. It was a really good goal, and because I really love what Toronto has going on over there, but I can't take it away from Montreal. I don't know why everything is falling in.
It goes back to Montreal for
Canada,
you, man.
man.
Yeah, man, it's all about timing, and they've figured out who they are at just the right time. I think my moment, Jordan Morris in the open field, when he picked up that ball and he had all that real estate ahead of him, I stood up out of my seat and I just was yelling, take it, run, take him on 1v1, and to see him do that was really exhilarating.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Andrew Wiebe, check out Extra Time Radio. The show's coming out. Is it coming out tomorrow?
It's coming out tomorrow. Matt Doyle, David Goss, and I, we will break all of this down in full and look ahead as well.
Right on, Kai. Great to have you. Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, thanks for watching us here on Facebook Live. We'll be back all week with coverage on MLSsoccer.com and right back here on Sunday for leg 2 of the conference semifinals. See you then with your teammate, Kellen Rowe. He's coming in.
A little competition.
All right, sounds good. Off camera, we're going to get some needles.
Yeah, there you go.
We get to get him with. All right, guys, see y'all.